Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am back with another review. This review is for Baddies West, Season 3, Episode 12. So if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you know every time I upload a new video. So much went down in this episode, so let's just get right into this review. So at the very beginning of this episode, Natalie and Scotty were having their one-on-one conversation about all the drama that went down when Natalie ended up attacking Scotty, when all Scotty was trying to do was check on Natalie after Krishan slapped her in the face. And during this conversation, Natalie was acting completely heartless. Like, Scotty was sitting in front of her crying, telling her how much she loves her and that she's her friend and that she couldn't believe that she did something like that to her and how hurt she was about it. And Natalie showed no emotion at all. She acted like she really didn't care about Scotty's feelings. And I was just like, damn, Natalie, like, you're really going out looking very cold-hearted. And Natalie was trying to basically blame the whole thing on Scotty, saying that Scotty was laughing during the situation and that's the reason why she attacked her. And that wasn't the reason why Natalie attacked Scotty. I feel like she attacked Scotty because she didn't want to fight Krishan. Not saying that Natalie's afraid of her, because I don't think that Natalie's afraid of Krishan. I just think that she didn't want to fight her. And so the reason why she went after Scotty was because she knew that Scotty was an easier target to go after. And she also wants ratings for her show. So if there wasn't going to be a fight between her and Krishan, she was going to make sure that there was going to be a fight between her and somebody. And so I just feel like Natalie was very wrong in this situation. And I feel like at some point during the conversation, she did realize that she was coming off extremely heartless, and that's the reason why she did end up taking accountability for what she did to Scotty and telling Scotty that she was wrong and that she wanted to move forward with the friendship. And apparently they have moved forward with their friendship, because yesterday Natalie ended up tweeting that her and Scotty are actually still cool and they talked about the situation. I think that's stupid on Scotty's part, because I could see if Scotty was just hanging out with Natalie and they're just two people who like to go out and have fun together and they like to make money with each other and it's nothing too serious. But Scotty is sitting over here trying to have a really genuine relationship with Natalie, and Natalie does not have a track record of being a good friend. And that's why it was kind of hard for me to feel bad for Scotty in this situation, because why did Scotty think that she was going to be any different than any other girl who befriended Natalie and ended up hurt in the end? If you watch Bad Girls Club over the years, and Natalie has been on a bunch of spin-offs of Bad Girls Club, but on BGC4 when we first were introduced to Natalie, she was definitely the bad guy on her season. She had some moments where I liked her, but she was definitely not a good friend. And if you watch her over the years in every other spinoff that she's been on, she has been the same way. Natalie is very consistent in the way that she is. And for Scotty to sit back and think that she was going to be treated differently than any of the other girls that Natalie has hurt is crazy to me. So that's why it's hard for me to feel bad for Scotty. And then on top of that, Scotty admitted that Natalie has disrespected her plenty of times before and she just gave her a pass for it. And that's what Krishan said in the previous episode when her and Natalie got into it. She said that if you keep letting Natalie disrespect you, she's going to keep on doing it because you think it's okay. And so that's the reason why she decided that she was going to check Natalie and she smacked her in the face, because she wanted to let Natalie know that she's not going to do her the way that she's done some of the other girls that she's been friends with before. Now, Natalie ends up gathering all the ladies into one room together, and she lets them know that they made a lot more money at the last few hostings that they did than they did when they went to Las Vegas. And I was glad that they didn't end up dividing up the money in front of the cameras this time, because to me, I think it was messy of them to do it in front of the cameras in the first place. It made them look cheap, and all the ladies were arguing about how much people should get. Tommie was acting crazy, trying to fight low because she felt like she should get more money than the rest of the ladies who didn't perform. And so I was just glad that they didn't do that this time. But Natalie ends up letting all the ladies know that Krishan quit the show and that they still have to keep on going to the hostings that they have, even though Krishan is not there. Now, Rolly seemed to have a little bit of an issue with Krishan leaving. Not that she was mad at Krishan, but she recognized that Krishan is one of the reasons why they get a crowd when they go to the hostings. It's just the truth. Krishan does have a large following. She has a lot of fans. She's always in the blogs, so she has a lot of clout. Not that she's in the blogs for anything positive, because she's not, but a lot of people like her and she has a large following, and she's the only one whose song the crowd actually knows when they go to perform. And so I'm not saying there won't be a crowd when they go to the clubs for the hostings, but I don't think it'll be as good as it was when Krishan was there. Now they're all on the Baddies bus on their way to the next hosting, and Stunner Girl has to ride by herself to the club because Natalie can feel some type of tension between her and Tommie, and she doesn't want them to fight while they're on the way to the club, and so she thought it was best for Stunner Girl to ride by herself. Hopefully, if there is another season of this show, they don't have anybody riding by themselves though, because I think it would make it more entertaining of an episode if you put them all on the bus together. Because on Bad Girls Club, some of the most entertaining moments on the show was the limo rides. And so they're on this bus, and Natalie starts talking shit about Krishan, and she has a lot to say about Krishan, and a lot of it is negative. And Biggie at one point says that Krishan and Natalie are friends, and Natalie quickly checks Biggie and lets her know that they're not friends. They're not friends. I don't even think that Natalie should really be hanging out too much with the girls that she puts on the shows with her. Just make money together, but stop trying to have friendships, because that's where things get really messy. I don't know why, Biggie thought that they were friends. I mean, they didn't even act like friends, in my opinion. It seemed more like a business deal, and it seemed like they were only around each other because they knew that they could make money together, and that's about it. Now, I was surprised that Sky really didn't jump in to defend Krishan, though, when Natalie was saying things about her, because even though Natalie has a right to be upset with Krishan, for Sky to be Krishan's friend and sit there while people are saying things about her and not say anything, to me made me give her the side eye a little bit, because Rolly kind of jumped in Krishan's defense over Sky, and that's weird to me because Sky's supposedly supposed to be Krishan's really good friend. So I'm questioning their friendship and how genuine it actually is, because at the same time, I was confused as to why Natalie let Sky stay on the show, because Natalie made it really clear when she tried to check Sky in a previous episode that Sky was only put on the show to basically babysit Krishan, and she said that that was the only reason why she was there. So I'm surprised that Sky even wanted to stay on the show once Krishan left, because she really wasn't wanted by Natalie in the first place. Now, it was complete madness at this club in Oregon. I mean, even when the ladies pulled up on the Baddies bus, there were people outside fist fighting. And then when they were walking into the club to get to the stage, people were pushing, shoving, getting squished. And then once the ladies made it to the stage, they couldn't even do their performances at first because there were so many fights breaking out in the crowd. Like, there were fists flying everywhere. And I was surprised at the fact that, Zeus did not end up taking the ladies out of this club and saying, screw it, we're just not going to get paid all the money that we were supposed to make for being here, because honestly, it was not safe for them to stay at that club. They did end up doing their performances because they wanted the full amount of money, but honestly, Zeus needs to be more serious about the safety of the ladies on this show when they go to these club hostings, because things could get dangerous very quickly. Now, the last stop for the ladies is going to be the Bay Area. They ended up landing in San Francisco, which was absolutely beautiful. I think the house was really nice that they ended up going to. But some of the ladies, if not all of them, were really nervous to be in the Bay Area, because that's where they hosted the Baddies auditions. And it was a hot mess. Like, I didn't watch the auditions because I think it's pointless. And I kind of think it's a little bit of a scam, because they really didn't pick anybody from the auditions anyway to be on the show. And so that's why some of the people in the Bay Area might actually have an issue with the Baddies, and there might be some fights that break out at the club because of the fact that the judges were actually really disrespectful to the girls when they auditioned for the show. They were fighting, they were insulting these girls, and so there might be some issues when they go out in the Bay Area. When they arrived in San Francisco, Tommie's energy was completely off. She seemed like she didn't want to be bothered with anybody. She seemed like she was in a really bad mood. And so I feel like a lot of the ladies tried to give her space because they didn't know what type of mood she was actually in. But when she got to the house, she realized that her bags were left at the door, and she took that as they were trying to get her stuff stolen, because she said that she had a lot of expensive things in her bags, and so she was really upset about this. And listen, I can understand her being upset that her bags were left at the door, because at the end of the day, you don't want your stuff that you worked really hard for to be stolen from you. But I think that she blew things completely out of proportion, and her sister was yelling about it as well. And then Tommie and her sister tried to run upstairs to get to where Natalie was, and Natalie was shut in her room, and she did not want security to let Tommie and her sister upstairs. And this is one time that I'm not going to blame Natalie for not wanting them to come upstairs, because what does Tommie's bags being at the front door have to do with Natalie? I feel like she just wants somebody to take her anger out on, and so she wanted to take it out on Natalie because she already doesn't like her anyway. And I feel like Natalie did the right thing by not letting Tommie and her sister up to her room, because they probably would have ended up jumping her, and I don't think think that that would be fair. So I think that it was good that security wouldn't let Tommie and her sister go upstairs, but Tommie and her sister were behaving crazy. Like, they were literally fighting security. Like, Tommie was hitting these guys in the security. And it's just like, why are you acting like that? Like, it's not that big of a deal for you to feel like you need to swing on people. At one point, she thought that her sister got touched by one of the security guards. Like, she thought that they put their hands on her or whatever, but the sister ended up saying that they didn't touch her. And so you would think that the whole situation would be calmed down, but it absolutely was not. Tommie was yelling and screaming. She was swinging on security, and she basically stated that she did not want to stay at the house in San Francisco. It was a hot ass mess. I just feel like Tommie blew that entire thing out of proportion. I mean, she had a lot to say about the way that Stunner Girl acts and how she gets into fights with everybody, but at least Stunner Girl didn't put her hands on anybody from the production team or any of the security, because I just feel like a lot of the ladies are not going to call Tommie out for what she did. She was really disrespectful, and I feel like a lot of the ladies are going to give her a pass because either they're afraid of Tommie and they don't want to fight her, or because they just want to be up her ass, and so they're not going to say anything about what Tommie just did. But if that was Stunner Girl who was putting her hands on production and security, then everybody would have had something to say about it. I feel like Tommie needs to learn how to handle herself a lot better, because she's getting too old to be acting the way that she is. And I'm not saying because of her age, because I think that Krishan acts in a way that she shouldn't act like, and she's a lot younger than Tommie is. So I'm not saying it's just because of Tommie's age, but I just don't feel like this is probably the right show and the right environment for Tommie to be in, because she has a lot of issues that she needs to work through. So those are my thoughts on this week's episode of Baddies West. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode down in the comment section. Don't forget to hit that like button for me. I appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos and hit the notification bell so that you know every time I upload a new video. Thank you so much to everyone who has subscribed to my channel. I appreciate you all. And until next time, I will talk to you guys in my next video.